All right, good morning. Welcome to Amka Kenya. This is where you get a head start. My name is Brian Amwaiti. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning. Hello.
It is indeed, Brian,
Yes.
and my name is Remy Majala.
Mkofiti kabisa, they call me Tony Mwirigi aka the celebrities host all the time 24/7. Na siku ya leo ni siku ya kinadada because today it is a National Vanilla Ice Cream Day. Ladies love ice cream sana. And they always say, by the way, if you want to be loved by everyone in this world, just sell ice cream.
Are you going to buy for us ice cream?
Yes, I'm going to buy for you guys. But remember, if you want to be loved by everyone in this world, just be an ice cream seller. That's what they say.
Okay.
In reality, you can't be loved by everyone because you're not money.
Do you guys have memories of the guys, the ice cream
Of
carts?
course.
Yes. Alafu,
It was just a,
alafu
you know,
wazazi
a
wametubeba
thing.
hivi, alafu wanafanya uso hivi tusiwaone.
Aki.
Yeah,
But
kabisa.
they say it's vanilla ice cream. I don't know. What kind of flavor do you prefer?
Mimi napenda hii tumesema saa hii.
Vanilla?
Remy?
No.
I've forgotten. This is insane that I
Alright.
actually forget this word, but I'm good with vanilla.
You're good with vanilla?
Yeah, yeah.
A lot
Okay.
of people are not good with vanilla. I don't know. Sometimes I tell people my favorite flavor is vanilla.
Maybe vanilla and matcha.
Mbona uko vanilla?
Okay.
No,
Why
because
vanilla?
the connotation behind it is
The
very
what? Umesema the what? The
you know,
connotation.
You have to break that
Lax.
down.
Okay. All right, but then,
That's a whole other conversation.
Before tuende kwa highlights this morning, kuna vitu vingi sana vinakuwa celebrated siku ya leo, si ndio?
Yep.
And later on, Remy Majala will be telling us her story about her gorgeous grandma. Because today
Oh,
it is
bless. And
national.
she was. And she was a gorgeous
Oh, she was a gorgeous grandma,
She
si ndio?
was.
Yeah, today we shall be also celebrating National Gorgeous Grandma. In case you have your gorgeous grandma, tutumie picha yake right now this morning,
Yeah.
then we shall be highlighting and also giving a shout out to your gorgeous grandma.
I like the way Brian is smiling. He also has a gorgeous
You
grandma.
have a gorgeous
She
grandma?
used to be. I lost all of them, but I just
Me too.
had memories of that, and you know,
I
loving
hear.
the kind of life that we lived and the kind of memories that we made.
Oh,
Okay,
bless.
amazing. All right.
Okay, as usual, we have an action-packed show this morning. Amka Kenya is always here to give you a head start, like we said. Now, on Amka Politics, we sit down for a one-on-one with Madeira Member of Parliament, that is Eric Wamumbi, a fierce defender of the Kenya Kwanza government, politics, promises and survival in an era of political push and pull in Kenya.
And on Amka Kenya Vibe Check at 8 a.m., we shall be engaging Dr. James Karau, Dean of Students, Machakos University. It will all be about the 21st century man, emotional intelligence, self-awareness, and healthy emotional expression for men's well-being. And don't forget also, we'll be having on set rather, Rick Thogwo and Tom Musembi. They'll be also helping with, you know, articulating this particular conversation.
Mtazamaji, kuanzia saa 3 mpaka saa 4 katika kipindi cha Amka Trend Talk, siku ya leo tunakupatia story ya mwanamitindo kwa jina Vera Sidika. Baada ya kuchukua online break kwa muda mrefu, Vera Sidika comes back with a banger. Big machine ya Vera Sidika. Jana aliweza kutupostia a Range Rover worth 18 million. This Range Rover comes after a long social media break. Later on, from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. na kupatia story ya big machine, of course, big machine ya Vera Sidika, 18 million worth Range Rover. Yes. You know, one thing about wasanii, they always take a long break, then comes back with a banger. This 18 million Range Rover will be highlighting kwenye pesa imetoka, na venye ameipata, who is the man or woman behind that car.
Okay.
Later on,
I
from
think
9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on Amka Trend
Someone
Talks.
who bought her the car.
Yes, yes. Because kuna story behind it.
She didn't buy it by herself.
Ndio upate juicy part about this story ya Range Rover 80 million from 9 a.m. 10 a.m. on Amka Trend Talks.
Alright.
Mimi na Yvonne Hisa and Tom Musembi, we shall be highlighting about the Range Rover ya 18 million Kenyan money.
I think I'm waiting for that.
Yes,
Plus,
you better wait.
I love the way he stresses big machine.
Yeah, big machine.
It is.
Let's go.
It is. It's a serious car.
All right, now on Amka Alert this morning, Steve Abdul Karim Munyaho, a Kenyan citizen that was in Saudi Arabia, or rather who spent over a decade on death row in Saudi Arabia, has been officially released. Now, the news was confirmed by Foreign Affairs Principal Secretary, that is Korir Singh-Oei, who announced that Munyaho was set free on Tuesday at 10 a.m. following the fulfillment of a judicial decree. Sing'oei added that Munyaho performed his Umrah, that is a minor pilgrimage, upon release, and further details regarding his return to Kenya will be provided.
Right now, the Principal Secretary extended commendations to all who contributed to securing this positive outcome. Munyaho Ratha's lengthy incarceration began after his conviction in 2011 for a fatal altercation with a colleague.
All right, najua mwisho wa siku, before I even read some of the comments za Wakenya in regards kuachiliwa kwa Stephen Munyaho, kama kuna mtu ambaye amereceive sifa nyingi, Brian na Remy, that is the PS wa Foreign Affairs, that is Korir Sing'oei kama sijakosea. Now we are all aware kwamba Sing'oei Korir, that is PS of Foreign Affairs, he met the mother of Stephen Bertrand Munyaho back in May last year. Lakini pia kuna term ambayo ningependa kuambia Wakenya this morning before I even go through some comments za Wakenya online. Kuna term inaitwa blood money, all right? Maybe someone might be asking herself or himself this morning, what is blood money? Blood money, it is money paid in compensation to the family of someone who has been killed, all right? The families of the deceased received blood money as compensation, just for a matter of understanding, for someone who is asking what is blood money. Yeah. But now, in regards to the story of Stephen Munyaho, we have reactions of Wakenya wengi kuhusiana na yeye kuweza kuachiliwa, na anytime from now he will be coming back to Kenya. Shola Adi this morning said Stephen Munyaho, the Kenyan who faced the death penalty in Saudi Arabia, has been freed. Against all odds, he is coming home alive. There is nothing short of this is nothing short of a miracle. Let's all take a moment to thank God. One of the best news stories of the year. That's a comment from Shola Ad in regards kuachiliwa kwa Stephen Munyaho jana kutoka Saudi Arabia. Kenyan Boy says the prayers of the mother and the consulate efforts have paid off. Good news. This is a comment in regards kwa kuachiliwa kwake Stephen, a Kenyan from Saudi Arabia after 10 years. That is Kenyan Boy. Let's take a look at the next comment in regards to this story. We have Felix Kemboy says, this is truly commendable. The release of Steve Munyaho after years on death row in Saudi Arabia speaks volumes about the tireless work of Foreign Office KE. It is a huge relief to Steve and his family. Thank you for bringing him home. Sing'oei Korir, na pia ameweza kutumia hashtag diplomacy KE. Then this comment, ndiyo comment imenibamba sana asubuhi ya leo. Inasema kwamba the only task this failed regime had done, it will go on record. Hizo zingine zote ni promises after promises. Mdomo tamu tu. All right, that's a comment from the peoples of Sam Zamaji in regards to kuachiliwa kwa Stephen Munyaho ambaye alikuwa na face kuuawa, lakini after the blood money aliweza kurejeshwa nchini Kenya. This story, Remy and Brian, brings the question ya kina Nduta na wengine wengi. How many Kenyans do you think wako nje from the offenses kama hizi?
I think it's quite a number. I think it's quite a number. And the sad thing about this, most of the time that I'll say, is that, for example, there's some people that would like the nation or the state to actually step in and speak on their behalf. But due to diplomatic issues, it becomes a little bit hard. So most of the time, they end up spending a lot of time when it comes to being in jail abroad, as opposed to coming and serving that particular sentence here in the country. Because we do understand some of these nations have very punitive laws when it comes to some offenses that most of the Kenyans that, you know, get themselves in will actually face when, as far as justice is concerned in those particular nations.
I see. So it's taking a look at issues where diplomacy comes first, like the relation between Kenya and these individual countries. And when it comes to the punitive laws, either do you fight for your citizen and, you know, get them the kind of help legally that they need, or do you retain a particular relationship with this, you know, country, whatever it is, you know, because again, we also look at the case of Boniface Mwangi and Agatha Atuhaire in terms of what they've also asked for compensation. You know, they are 100, I think, 100 USD. Is it 100 million?
I really
USD. We'll confirm that figure for you.
Actually, this morning when I was going through the comment sections of Kenya wengi in regard to his story, people highlighted the story ya Boniface Mwangi because they have said, yes, you guys took over 10 years to sort issue Stephen Munyaho, but hamjaongelea kuangalia story yote ya Boniface Mwangi in regards to Tanzania story. So I think later on we shall be highlighting those comments our Kenya in regards in comparison ya Stephen Munyaho case and the story ya Boniface Mwangi.
Do you think they're going to take it seriously though, the issue to do with Boniface Mwangi, considering the fact that you know, he's been the state has been on his neck, if you ask me, and also just when they were actually in Tanzania and you know, kept there, most of the people were coming out and saying, why is the government not speaking to this particular issue in terms of their return back into the country? And there was a little bit of you know, reluctancy as far as that is concerned.
That's a big
this
question.
Is, a case at the, you know, East African court, you know, literally directed there. So we have to see, you know, going forward, what is the, you know, steps that will be taken. Remember, Mama Samia Suluhu said, you know, this is not how we as, you know, Tanzanians are. This is not our thing. Like, go back and behave that way in
you know, aliens.
Yes.
All right.
So.
All right, 5 things you need to know this morning. We start with this one. The Social Health Authority, that is SHAP, announced on Tuesday, July 22nd, that it expects to complete payments of healthcare facilities for services rendered under the National Health Insurance System within the next 3 weeks. Now, SHA Chief Executive Officer, that is Mercy Mwangangi, stated that the authority is currently reviewing claims submitted by over 9,000 contracted healthcare facilities across the country.
Now, this scrutiny aims to ensure all claims made by July 1st comply with the authority's regulations. So far, 3 billion shillings has been disbursed to eligible facilities after the authority finalized the review of claims for accident and emergency hematology and oncology and renal care services for that matter.
Okay. All right, let's take the next story. Now, the nation is reeling from the shocking discovery that Susan Njoki, a nurse and founder of the Total Touch organization, died by strangulation at the Chiromo Hospital Group's breastside branch. An autopsy performed by a team of 6 pathologists confirmed that Njoki was killed approximately 4 hours after her last meal on Tuesday, just 1 day after she was reportedly admitted to the facility without her consent.
Njoki, who had a history of mental health treatment, had previously alleged on social media that her husband, Alois Ngure, had arranged for 4 doctors to inject her and forcibly take her to a mental health facility. It's quite unfortunate.
All right, just to get clarity on this story, it's like she was forced when I was telling.
Yeah.
All right, she was forced because a Kenyan here by the name Lucky Sherry says at manual strangulation. How could that happen within a private hospital? Was that their motive after forcing her to go with them? That's a comment from Kenya in regards to a story this CEO, that is Susan Kamegere Njoki, who died at Chiromo Hospital, died from manual strangulation. Then we have a comment from Kenyan by the name Yusuf Omar, who says this morning, very weird things happening in Kenya for sure. Hope she gets justice she deserves. That's a comment from Yusuf Omar on Twitter. We have a comment from Mr. Slim, says, that is where we are as a country. That's a comment. I'm in a question mark.
Yeah.
That is where we are as a country. Then we have Munene Regan says, very inhuman. May justice prevail. Munene on Twitter. Then we have a comment by the name Kevin Kelani on Twitter, says, second case in less than 3 months. Just for a matter of clarity, the other case was?
Also, the Kenyatta National Hospital case of this or rather this individual, Kalombo Tole, you know, and remember this has happened in a span of what?
3 months?
What? No. The first case was 5 months ago.
That's February. Then right now we have there's one in February.
Yes.
There's the one that we experienced last week, and of course this.
And then this particular story right now.
All right. Allow me to read this comment from Kevin Klein. It says, second case in less than 3 months. Is it all okay? A question mark. In a hospital? Question mark. Things we have never ever had or seen. It's all okay. The hospital will cooperate with investigation, because from whatever they said, the hospital will cooperate to know the exact issue. He asked, the hospital will cooperate with the investigation? A question mark. And still the patients in there are very hopeful. What about other patients who are still there? Okay. With the case of Susan Njoki. Now, what about those who are already there?
But is mental health issues being weaponized for this matter? Because this is not the first time we're seeing cases where, you know, people are forcibly, you know, being checked in to these particular facilities because of issues of their mental health? Are we weaponizing it and then also using it as a tool to, you know, harass or tell a particular narrative which is not there?
Okay. And I think it is an important question that you're raising there. And of course, maybe just for a nation to start relooking and also just looking at the safety of individuals that actually check into hospitals and all that. Because to some extent, you can sit back and, because if you ask me, Remy, I believe murder and death in this country to some extent has become the norm, and are we losing our humanity as a nation and things like that, that every now and then we'll just be reporting how easy it has been for someone to take someone's life.
I see.
Interior CS, that is Kipchumba Murkomen, has publicly defended the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, against recent accusations of impunity, asserting that the agency operates within legal frameworks and is dedicated to public service.
Now, speaking at the DCI headquarters on Kiambu Road on Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025, this is during the relaunch, of the upgraded Fichuakwa DCI call center, Murkomen directly addressed claims that the DCI is a clandestine organization protecting corrupt leaders. He emphasized that Kenya's constitution prohibits security agencies from cooperating in secrecy, stating the constitution talks about transparency and accountability.
All right, the hashtag it is Fichuakwa DCI. There is a number that they provided siku ya jana, and that's number it is 0800722203. You can report uhalifu kupitia that nambari ambao DCI walitoa. Anasema kwamba report any jina gumu hapa limenipoteza jamani, but wanasema usiogope kuripoti, si ndio? Wanasema usiogope kuripoti, na wamesema kwamba hashtag ni Fichuakwa DCI, piga namba. But now the question is, hizi namba zasaidia kweli? There's a question now.
I think the most important question would be, do we even trust these particular institutions? Do we even have a relationship with the security agencies to be able to report such cases?
Exactly.
Things like that.
That's a big question.
Right.
Yeah. So you, for example, the issue to do with corruption in the country, you're told, oh, you can actually do that, but somebody will argue and say, if I do report issues to do with corruption, maybe my life is going to be in danger, and I don't even think that you're going to pursue this particular case to you know, wholesomely, that we actually get justice at the end of the day.
So before tuende kwa next story, Wakenya wamecheka. So the DCI walipost hiyo story na wakasema kwamba DCI unveil WhatsApp number for the public to share criminal information. That's a story. Kuna Mkenya hapa kwa jina Anwar Sadat, a verified account on Twitter, says the intelligence service that should be giving them information has been reduced to fighting those Ruto perceived to be political enemies. So they are asking the public to share information with the DCI. A question that Anwar Sadat asked this morning.
What are the questions people are asking there, of course, sir? All right, as the nation watches closely for developments in the brutal murder of Kasipul Member of Parliament, that is Charles Ongondo Were, the court case continues today. It's been nearly 3 months since MP Were was tragically gunned down on the night of April 30th near the city mortuary roundabout along Gong Road in Kilimani, Nairobi. Now, his death sent shockwaves across the political landscape and the entire country, with the initial police reports suggesting a targeted and premeditated assassination.
Now, several suspects have since been apprehended and charged in connection with his murder. We understand that 3 individuals, William Imoli, alias Imo, Edwin Odwor Odhiambo, alias Machuani, and Ibol Ochieng, alias Dave Kalo, have already pleaded not guilty to the murder charge. They have been denied bail due to the gravity of the offense. Now, the prosecution has indicated they have a strong case with key exhibits, including surveillance footage, the identification of the vehicle used by the suspects, and recovered firearms.
Now, an autopsy report also confirmed that the MP Were sustained multiple gunshot wounds. Now, today we expect that crucial direction from the court in this high-profile case. And I don't know because a lot of people have been looking at this particular case and, you know, trying to say, why is it that this one, when it comes to matters investigations, it was very quickly, as opposed to most of what we'll consider, you know, we don't want to call them small cases, but those cases that involve the common citizens.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it goes back to what you were speaking about when it comes to the DCI and the trust, even what some of the tweets that Tony read. I believe it's a perception. And also the way we've literally seen some cases go faster than others, or for example in this case Albert Ojwang, this particular individual from being pardoned from Saudi Arabia, this Kenyan, like how different cases are handled here and there. So it feels like there's a selection of sorts that this will go this far. And also he's a member of parliament, and you saw ODM leaders very emotional about it, and because it's also affected the political class in the way that it did. And remember, where he was assassinated is a hotspot, historically for other, like figures in politics. We have seen that particular spot, right? So it's very emotive. It's very, has a lot of agenda when it comes to how some analysts put it. So I don't think this is a one, like you cannot say, why is this? Like you'll have to connect it to so many other aspects on different topics when it comes to national matters in general, not just how we are investigating. We're still on security and police brutality, extrajudicial killings, some from even last year during the protests, we still have many cases lining up. So
all right,
you can answer it in the long and short.
Okay, so on matters health, Remy?
Right, so let's take a look at this other story where Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale on Tuesday received a comprehensive report from a 13-member committee tasked with investigating allegations of illegal organ transplants and trafficking at the Medihill, a group of hospitals.
Now, the committee, chaired by Professor Elizabeth Bukusi, who is a senior principal clinical research scientist at the Kenya Medical Research Institute, KEMRI, and a professor at the University of Washington, was established by the Gazette Notice. Now, its mandate was to thoroughly probe the claims and submit its finding within 3 months. Now, CS Duale commended the committee for delivering its 313-page report precisely within the stipulated time frame. The report includes extensive findings and recommendations designed to bolster regulatory frameworks, improve transparency, and prevent unethical practices within transplant services. Duale has committed to fully implement these recommendations to uphold ethical standards and ensure patient safety within the nation's health sector.
Mimi niko na swali. Kuna nchi ambazo huwa wanaruhusu uuze pande za mwili alafu na sign form?
No.
Do you have a country? Do you have a country? I think, people are saying it's part of your body. I know we're not supporting any...
but we're speaking about transplants here.
All right.
The way it's being done, like trafficking, there's a process for everything. There's consent. You can't just have, like, oh, I want to sell my kid. For what? Like,
so yao ni ilikuwa illegal. The hospital from
okay. So wewe unaweza taka pesa na unasema niko na kidney mbili na maybe nahitaji tu moja, zote ziko healthy. Alafu sasa unataka kununua gari na hauna do. Sasa unasema okay.
So they take your kidney out of your consent.
No, you agree to that, I believe. You agree to that, but it is an illegal business.
Okay.
It is an illegal business. You're not allowed to do that, you as an individual.
And that's why someone can go across,
since your desire for money is greater than you having 2 kidneys, you're like, okay, I don't think I need
but sometimes they you go to hospital and you can survive 13 years with 1 kidney, and so far you're 30 years. Unapiga mahesabu na baada 45 years, and you say you're okay.
No, unasema you
don't. But it's different.
But this is
in the trafficking, organ trafficking. That's illegal.
It's illegal, yes.
It's
and
even if it's in your own, like your own body. Remember, even the way it's done, like which facility, who are these people you're giving access to catch you up so that they can take this, organ.
To some extent, and I'd say this, if this is something that is happening at a very high scale in this country, then it is time for the nation to have a conversation, and I'm not talking about the national dialogue, to have a conversation in terms of why exactly are people tempted so much to sell their body parts for,
that's an economic issue.
Economic issues, and it's a big thing.
Actually,
so we need to address
let's
that.
Let's come back with that, with that story, with that question. It's a good question, but you're asking the wrong people.
We're asking the wrong people.
All right.